Section 2. Video 13. Conditional rendering Part 2. We have three main objectives in this video. 1. We will show you how to render elements conditionally using the conditional operator. 2. We will show you how a component can hide itself even though it was rendered by another component. 3. We will show you how to import styles from a CSS file. Another method for conditionally rendering elements inline is to use the JavaScript conditional operator, which gives us a ternary expression. We will use a ternary expression to conditionally render a small block of text. Let's render a login control, similar to what we did in the previous video. Now, we will define the login control component, which has state of as logged in. Return some JSX from the component showing some text. Now, we will use a ternary expression to show the logged-in state of the user. It can also be used for larger expressions, although it is less obvious what is going on. Just like in JavaScript, it is up to you to choose an appropriate style based on what you and your team consider more readable. Also remember that whenever conditions become too complex, it might be a good time to extract a component. In rare cases, you might want a component to hide itself, even though it was rendered by another component. To do this, return null instead of its normally rendered output. As an example, let's render a page component. Let's start defining the page component. This component will toggle a warning. We will keep track of, and update, the show warning state. We will return a warning banner component, which we will define shortly. And, we will render a button, which will change its text depending on the show warning state. We will give this button an on-click prop, and pass in the reference to a handler. Let's define this handler above. The handler will toggle the state of show warning. Now, we will define the warning banner component. We will return null if the Boolean value of the warn prop is not true. Otherwise, we will show a warning. Let's add some CSS styling to the warning. First, we will create an index.css file in the source folder. Switch over to the terminal app, and shut down the local development server. Now, create an index.css file using the touch command. Restart the local development server. We can now return to our index.js file in Atom. Import the CSS file after our React and React DOM imports. This will allow us to use any CSS styles in the index.css file. Create React app will take care of loading CSS files properly. Now, let's move to the index.css file. First, let's add some body styling. We will use a sans serif font family. Set the margin to 0. Now, we will add styles to the warning class. Set the background color to red. Align the text to the center. Make the width 100%. Set the padding to 10 pixels. Set the font size to 14 points. Make the text color white. Now let's test it in the browser. To summarize, we showed you how to render elements conditionally using the conditional operator. We showed you how a component can hide itself even though it was rendered by another component. And, we showed you how to import styles from a CSS file. In the next video, we will talk about rendering lists of elements, and explain why keys are important in React.